Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface with the episode 2 review of Amazon's, I ain't going to say the first part because it ain't got anything to do with that, Rings of Power. I have a confession to make. When I started watching this the first time you say Az, when I started watching this the first time, I fell asleep. I'm not talking about closing and resting my eyes for 2 minutes. I'm not talking about full on fell asleep watching it. So I had to go back and watch it again because I was asleep. But I'm sure that will give Amazon the view that they need to make it the bestest show ever. Whatever. Okay. So let's start off from where we left it. Galadriel had jumped off her boat that was taking her back home to rewards and all this kind of jazz. But basically, she jumped out of the boat at New York and she needs to swim back to Liverpool. Yes, she's got to go from one side of the Sundering Sea to the other. And her bright idea, and when I say bright, I mean she is, was to jump in the sea and swim it. No, I'm not making this up, folks. I'm not making this up. So she's in the water, as you can see. The episode's called Adrift. Set adrift on memory bliss of you. We cut to the the Harfoots, the fake hobbits. Well, they are a species of hobbit. But between the first review and this review, I did a video about Rotten Tomatoes and the review scores being all over the place. And one thing that somebody said in one of their reviews was the Harfoot stuff feels like community theater type of, and I was just like, they are absolutely right. The acting from this lot of Harfoots, I would say that the main actress out of them is doing a slightly better job, but Lenny Henry, fake Sam, all a family, it feels like community theater levels of acting. It is dour. It is dour, just dour, non-believable stuff. Chihuahua. So she goes up to the man who fake Gandalf, who arrived in a meteor, and he stands up and he starts screaming at her, and she gets scared, and all the fire goes out and stuff, and then he falls unconscious again, and it all happens again. So they pick him out of the meteor and they put him in a wheelbarrow. And then they have a talk about, I don't give a shit, because fake Sam is absolutely appalling. And then the wheelbarrow falls down the hill because comedy, maybe. Not sure. All I know is that this went on, and I fell asleep. First time. This is where I fell asleep, when these two were just talking about fucking nothing I gave a shit about. Just dumping meaningless exposition. Whatever. So guess who's coming for excuse me, guess who's coming to second breakfast? Goes into somewhere and does something I don't care. I can pretend that I care. Nothing is grabbing me. This is not like I rebel. This is the rebellion, isn't it? No, this isn't one of those moments. This is the show is not grabbing me in any way, excuse me, any way, shape, or form. Not at all. There is nothing here which I feel invested in. There is nothing here which is interesting me. There is something which interests me later on. If you're a Skyrim fan, if you're an Elder Scrolls fan, you'll probably like it as well. But there you go. So this is Linden. And we've got Celebrimbor. And we've got Femrond. Oi, stop it. I didn't give you permission to speak. And they have this most retarded conversation about, I want to build a really better forge in a tower, and I need to have it done by spring. And for people to create, there must be sacrifice. And I'm just like, this is the most cliched crapola I've heard. Absolute crapola. So he's like, would you like to see my etchings? And Femron goes, ooh, missus, did you just They might as well have done. Seriously, they might as well have done. It was boring as whatever. We're off to Khazad-dûm. Because even though the elves can't make this in the time, the theory is, if we go from Linden to Khazad-dûm, we will be able to hopefully enlist the aid of the dwarves to build the tower in time. Sorry, they're in Eregion. Sorry, I do beg your pardon. I thought they were in Linden. They're in Eregion. So, both of them travel from Eregion to Khazad-dûm. And then they knock on the door, and Femrond goes, well, I'm friends with the prince, if you know what I mean. He'll let me in with open arms, and there'll be salted pork and trumpets and guess what? He gets somebody goes to the door and they just go away now. It's critical drink, I'm sure. It's go away now. And Celebrimbor is like, oh, salted pork and trumpets, eh? So he's not letting him in. So Femron goes, I invoke Sadi Khajur. And I'm just like, fuck my ass, mouth, and tits. He's turned into a Klingon. So he invokes this this competition, which basically is the dwarf gets a rock, you got a rock, you get a hammer, he gets a hammer, and you smash the rocks until you can't smash the rocks no more. Okay. And then he just tells Celebrimbor to fuck off back to Eregion. He's like, give me a few days here, and I'll meet you back in Eregion. Fuck off. So, like, Celebrimbor has walked all the way. Walked. They don't even have horses. Walked all the way here, and then you just, as soon as you get here, you turn around and go, fuckity bye. Okay. That's the way you want to play it. So they go inside. Khazad-dûm looks okay. It looks pretty cool. Reminds me of Dragon Age. So that's a positive for me. And then they get into the competition, and here the prince comes along, and the prince is just like, here they are, the fucking prince, the fucking rock cutting. I'll do you, mate. I'll fucking do you. Sorry, got carried away there. I was trying to make my own entertainment because this show's so fucking boring. So they bring out the rocks. The rocks are here. Jesus Christ, this part I mean, how I didn't fall asleep multiple times, I don't know. So Brandy Snatch, I don't whatever. Brandy Snatch goes looking for the fake Gandalf. Fake Gandalf is half naked, I think, creating images of constellations. She offers him some snails. You must eat the bugs, remember? You must eat the bugs. So Amazon's getting in there early. And he starts eating the snails, shell and all. It's funny, you see. Laugh. Why aren't you laughing? Oh, yeah, it's not. It's not actually funny at all, is it, really? So she talks. She's like, I can't understand you, and he can't speak. It's a thing. And then he starts getting worked up because he's trying to talk, but he can't talk. So it seems to be tapping into his magic. And at the very same time that they're trying to talk, her father is trying to put up a post in the village. And then he gets a little bit out of control, or his magic is out of control because he can't control. And her father's ankle snaps in the village while he's getting... So it's as a consequence of his magic. So now the father can't mobilize the village as they're going to be mobilizing soon because it's mobilization time. Okay, moving on. Galadriel is doing front crawl. Front crawl? She's doing front crawl from New York to Liverpool because she's dumb as fuck. But they just so happen to come across a raft, which has Sauron on it. I mean, Halbrand, sorry. Oopsie doopsies. So not remotely Sauron. It's just like, who's this elven woman? And then everyone else on the raft is like crazy. And then the woman tries to be nice to her. And then the woman realizes she's an elf, and so she's not nice to her. Whatever. They say, our ship got attacked by a sea snake. And they're like, oh, there's our ship again. Oh, no, it's the sea snake, sea serpent, and it's got our sails attached to it now. There's a hubbubaloo. The raft gets hit. Everyone gets killed apart from Sauron and Galadriel. Galadriel still manages to have a face like a bulldog licking piss off a thistle, even when she's being helped, because her character is shit. She's horrible. She's unlikable. She's a bitch. Holy Moses, in a handbasket. So now they have a smaller raft. That's that. The guys are smashing rocks, and Femrond gives up. I can't smash any more rocks. You win. So he's like, haha, because you failed, you are now banished from Khazad-dûm. I will escort you myself to the front door. And so when he's escorting him out, they're going up a lift. And he's like, why are you so mad with me? And he's like, it's been 20 years since you saw me. And he's like, wow, only 20 years. Oh, wow. And he's like, well, you elves, you live forever. So you're just, but 20 years to me, I got married. I had children. All right, dude. Calm the fuck down. Trying to change your tampon. And so he's just like, oh, sorry, I kind of didn't realize, and I do apologize, and can I talk to you? And he's like, all right, you can have all that and fucking talk with me, but you're getting eat. Babies. So, this is an elven tree, which he gave him the seeds for. What's he called? Prince Durin. He gave him the seeds for, and he's seeing how well it's grown. Now, this is what I liked. I really like the dwarven aesthetic because it just really reminded me of the Elder Scrolls. And the details, like the mugs were very nice. The jar which they poured the wine out of was nice. The like pillars, supporting pillars were nice. Then there's Disa. Disa comes along. She was fine. I mean, there wasn't much for her to do because there isn't in the series. She was fine. You know, I didn't have any issue really with her acting. But you see, I'm judging her on her acting performance, not on the color of her skin, like she was doing throughout the whole advertising. Because these people are morons, and they're more interested in pushing messages when the messages don't even fucking exist. But never mind. So he's like, "Oh, you wanna, you know, get something from us?" And he does a little speech. I mean, this just it goes on to kind of too long, and he's like, "I'll take my leave. I'll go." And then Disa's like, "No, you'll stay. He'll stay." And the prince is like, "Ugh. Okay, tell me what you want me to speak to Daddy about." Galadriel is tying herself to the raft, and then a storm is coming in. So she's like, "Tie yourself to me." And then a second later, the whole thing snaps and she falls in the water. She's not doing too good, is Galadriel. So guess who's coming for second breakfast is inside the goblin tunnels. Mummy, the apothecary, runs back home to check on her son, who she abandoned in the first episode. Because she was so thirsty for elven dick, she just left her son at home while they went to a town where the orcs had destroyed via tunneling in. So her son's hiding. An orc comes through the floorboard. She's hiding. The orc's having a look around. Then it opened. There's a hubbubaloo. There's a fight. She cuts the head off the orc and puts it down in front of the people in the village and says, "We got to get out of here because orcs they be coming." Not as well as my elven prince, though, over my face, neck, and tits. Oh, he did. He absolutely did. So Halbrand goes and saves Galadriel from the storm, and she's a miserable cow. The fake Frodo and fake Sam go to meet fake Gandalf, and he uses the fireflies in the lanterns that they have to create a constellation. And she says, "Oh, let's find this constellation for you. King Durin," I take it. Yeah, King Durin the Third. Let's get that correct. Is showing off the mithril, what looks like it's going to be mithril ore to his son. Theo cuts himself on Sauron's sword, and it starts to reform the blade when the blood hits the hilt. I'm just gonna be upright with you. I ain't been grabbed by any of this. It's not compelling stuff. Having somebody on a raft for a whole episode isn't compelling. Having two lots of people migrating, the people from the village and the hobbits are going to start moving on, isn't compelling. The Khazad-dûm stuff is going at a snail's pace. This is 2 episodes in. This is 2 hours in. And essentially, there's been nothing. There hasn't been any consequential world building. What we've got is Galadriel's a fucking cow. Halbrand is Sauron. The Khazad-dûm stuff is snooze fest. The village is snooze fest, but there's 2 thirsty people that are dying to fuck like rabbits. And the Hobbit stuff feels like community theater. And it ends with Galadriel and Sauron on a raft together, and somebody is looking over them, and I think this will be the Númenóreans from what I can remember. And then the credits roll, and I don't care. It's not particularly, like I said, apart from the Khazad-dûm aesthetic, which I really liked. I like the aesthetic of that. Disa was fine as an actress. Prince Durin was fine as an actor. So they were okay. Elrond is not Elrond. Galadriel is not Galadriel. Halbrand, of course, is a new character that's housing Sauron. And guess who's coming for second breakfast and is thirsty wench? I don't care. Nothing has got me interested. I'm not interested in anything. You haven't really... The one thing which intrigues me slightly is the blade with Theo. And when he bleeds on the blade, it starts to reform. That was interesting because the blade's kind of acting as a... It's sort of tempting or luring Theo. We won't get massive amounts more out of that, trust me. But I don't, Galadriel's just been a cock, so go fuck her. And Elrond is not Elrond, so go fuck him. And Celebrimbor is just waiting for a twink to turn up. I don't even know what this show is. This episode, I give a 3 out of 10 for this. This, apart from the Khazad-dûm stuff, everything else was just no thanks. I'm good. Thanks, but no thanks. So there we go. I will see you guys and gals on Friday Night Tights later, where we'll go right in deep. Oh, just like Guess Who's Coming for Second Breakfast into both episodes. Until then, take care. Bye for now.